Hello guys, welcome to episode 8 of the FM Creator News. This episode we are going to be looking at the thorny issue of the downloadable tactic. It's something that's come up now and again. I think a lot of people have an opinion on it. I often see people saying actually there is no discussion. There clearly is a discussion because everyone's got an opinion of it, and the opinions aren't all the same. So I think we want to have a little chat about the merits of the downloadable tactic, about whether it's a morally correct thing to be doing, and if it is, what circumstances that should be done in. This has kind of all come about. There was a tweet put out from the FM Trophy guys. So those are the guys who've made the FM Trophy tournament, which I was part of, and didn't get very far. Well, I got far enough in. I was happy enough with how I did with the mighty Wimborne town. We got through to the main competition, which is something. Four wins, I think. That's not what we're talking about, is it? Anyway, yeah, the downloadable tactics. They put a tweet out saying, is it appropriate to use a downloadable tactic? Yes or no? Now, what they meant to write was, is it appropriate in the context of a versus tournament? So using FM Touch versus game. They didn't write that. They just wrote bog standard, is it appropriate? And my god, hornets nests were kicked. There were some interesting comments in there on both sides, and I think it's an important thing to think about and an important thing to kind of consider. And I'd really appreciate what you guys think about downloadable tactics. Leave your thoughts down below. See who else has written something, and have a conversation with people, and let's see if we can come to some agreement. So I want to start out by saying I am not here to tell people that using downloadable tactics is a terrible thing and they shouldn't do it. That's not what I'm doing. My personal opinion is that in the vanilla game, when you're just playing for the fun of it, downloadable tactics are absolutely fine. If you are just starting out in the world of FM, if FM20 is the first game that you have used or played in the series, if you open that up and you look at it and you sort of say, training tactics, good God, I mean scouting, you wouldn't have a bloody clue, would you? I mean, they've put the new feature in there that kind of helps you around the game, but still it's going to be hard. It takes some time to figure out what makes a decent tactic. I still haven't got a clue, but I was playing back in the days of Championship Manager, so we didn't have downloadable tactics in those days, and as such I've never used one. But I think if you are just starting out, or you just don't like that side of the game, there is nothing wrong with it. Downloading a tactic to help you out, it's the same as downloading a training schedule or anything like that. I'm pretty sure you can get your assistant to sort of do a tactic for you as well. So I mean, it's not a terrible, horrible thing. The thing where it becomes a little bit unclear, and this was one of the areas that people were a little bit frustrated or annoyed about, is it's a couple of areas. It's when people take credit for a victory or an amazing performance with a downloadable tactic. Now again, in my mind, a tactic is not the only thing that makes a team. You have, as Old Lady Plays will tell you, you have team dynamics. You have to fit the players that you have in the team within that tactic. So if you have a Barcelona tiki-taka style tactic and you try and use that in the Vanarama South with players who only know how to hoof the ball and they can't look left or right, not going to work so well, I imagine. I mean, someone will probably tell me, yeah, I've done that. Yeah, nailed it. But in general, the players aren't going to be good enough to play that. So you have to have the right players to fit the tactic. So there is some skill in putting those two things together, I think. Yeah, beyond that, you also have to have the right training schedule. You have to give good team talks. You have to do a bunch of things to make get success. It is not all about a tactic. A tactic is going to help, absolutely, but it's not all about a tactic. So if you are incredibly successful, even though you download a tactic, I don't have a problem with you saying, yeah, I've done well here, I've done all right. Because to be fair, if you have downloaded it, you've probably downloaded it for a reason, because actually you're not very good at making tactics. Maybe you're not that good at the game, and actually that success that you've had is relatively a huge amount of success. And that's always a kind of a strange thing, because success is often a very different thing for different people. So that needs to be taken into context. The area, I think, where it becomes deeply murky and deeply unpopular, and where I struggle with my thoughts on it, is when you are talking about it in the context of head-to-head versus tournaments. Now, there's been a few incidents where people have moaned about going up against people who are playing downloadable tactics, and often in these contexts it is going to be people who kind of know what they're doing, and they realize that the downloadable tactic, they are designed in many of these cases to basically exploit the match engine. So you're going to be getting around, you're going to be having a bit of a leg up in comparison to your opposition. And don't forget, in the versus version, you don't have shouts. There's a lot of things missing from that form of the game, which make actually the tactic a lot more powerful than it would be in the in just the FM20 game. So my feeling is, in that context, it's not appropriate, it's not right. There's no way to police it, but it seems very, very wrong that you don't kind of come up with something yourself. I mean, when I've been doing this, I look at what I've got. I mean, certainly with Wimborne, I had like players who could play down the centre, and I had no one on the wings. I had a half-star goalkeeper, and then no one who could play on the wings. And so what I had to do was create some sort of weird narrow tactic, which would hopefully encompass the best players that we had without being ridiculously open on the wings, which was a challenge. And it certainly confused the heck out of a lot of people, I think. But as always, I base it on a tactic from the basic sort of version of the tactics that they provide, and then I kind of work it out from there. And I think a lot of people probably do likewise. But I think in those contexts, I think a downloadable tactic is not an appropriate thing. And I'd be really interested to know what you guys think. I mean, clearly there are good and bad downloadable tactics as well. You've got to find one that actually works. I mean, anyone can upload these things. So, if you pick one uploaded by me, you're probably going to fail miserably. But if you pick one uploaded by someone who knows what they're doing, then and you fit it to the team correctly, then you are going to be in business. I'm going to be really interested to hear what you say about this. I've kind of done this in one go, without actually planning the episode out so much. I just kind of wanted to splurge my thoughts on these things, and then put it over to you guys to see what your thoughts are on it. Do you use them? If you do, in what circumstances? And do you agree with what I think? Don't agree? I'm open to all those. I'm really interested to have this conversation. Right, well, if you enjoyed that, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you are new for more of these random FM creator news segments. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.